Welcome to EM Coding Rounds. This is a hospital progress note for a patient with stable dementia. It contains 16 words. To figure out what it's worth, we need to determine the level of care by taking apart the history, the exam, and the medical decision-making, and plugging that information into this table, which shows the documentation requirements for hospital progress notes. For these encounters, only 2 out of 3 key components are needed. You can use either the 95 or the 97 guidelines to complete the documentation. In this case, both work out the same. We'll use the 97 guidelines to take apart the note. Looking at the history, this is the table we use to figure out what level of history has been recorded. For this note, no elements of HPI, PFSH, or review of systems have been recorded. Therefore, this would not qualify for any level of history. The next step is to check the physical exam. Looking at the exam, remember using the 97 guidelines, the exam is based on the number of bullets from various organ systems that have been documented. In this case, all we did was record 3 vital signs. This gives us 1 bullet under the constitutional system, which means we qualify only for a problem-focused physical exam. So now the next key component is known. The last step is to calculate the medical decision-making. Looking at the medical decision-making and starting with the problem points, here the dementia would qualify as one stable established problem, which means it's worth 1 point. So we have 1 problem point. The next step is to check the data points. Looking at the data points, we didn't review any data, so we get 0 data points. The last step is to check the risk. Looking at the risk, the relevant portion of the risk table is the low-risk portion, because we have 1 stable chronic illness in the form of the dementia. Therefore, this encounter qualifies as being of low risk. So, we have 1 problem point, 1 data point, and low risk. Since 2 out of 3 dimensions are needed, this adds up to only straightforward complexity medical decision-making. So now the last key component is known. Now that we know the key components, we can figure out what level of care has been recorded. Here we have no history, a problem-focused exam, and straightforward medical decision-making. For hospital progress notes, only 2 out of 3 key components were needed, so this adds up to the 99231 level of care, otherwise known as Level 1 hospital progress note. When you put it all together, this is how the final note looks. 2 out of 3 key components are needed. Here we have no qualifying history, a problem-focused exam, and straightforward medical decision-making. This adds up to the 99231 level of care. Here it took us just 16 words to earn $38.39, which works out to an astounding $2.40 per word, which is amazing documentation efficiency. If you want to learn how to take apart a note like this, consider signing up for one of our web-based E&M coding curriculums. We offer several different subscription options to match any practice pattern. We also have a coder curriculum, which includes up to 33 AAPC CEUs for only $99. If you need E&M coding education from multiple providers, ask about an E&M compliance web portal, which provides trackable and verifiable E&M coding education for multiple doctors.